Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Kroger Kickoff. We are live outside of Sanford Stadium. My name is Brandon Adams. This is Dog Nation's recruiting insider, Jeff Sintel. Just to my left, in a couple of minutes, the dog walk will take place on what is homecoming here in Sanford Stadium. And I don't know that fans during homecoming have ever sweat quite as much as they are going to today. It's about 90 degrees in Athens right now, but that hasn't done anything to dampen the spirits. That may have dampened a few of the shirts and some of the socks, maybe sweaty and hotter than normal, but the mood around here festive as always, Jeff. Folks excited about another Saturday of Georgia football, and what in many ways is, I don't want to say tune-up because that'd be overstating the matter, but that final moment to know what you have before you go on the road for a crucial stretch of games. 3 of Georgia's next 4 after this will be played away from Sanford Stadium. All 4 of those games are against teams currently ranked in the Associated Press Top 25. The Vanderbilt game becomes crucial then to know where Georgia is as a measuring stick as it heads into what is legitimately the stretch run of this season.
Yeah, it's weird, Brandon. You got a mix of a lot of things. Number one, Georgia won't be back here until November the 16th against Auburn, which is quite a long time. And I think the narrative of the season will be well established by then. And you look around today, and I think there was supposed to be a blackout. Some people are saying blackout. The cheerleaders are wearing their black kind of regalia today, which makes everyone think about black jerseys, of course. That's about the right time to start speculating 2 hours before a game. I will say this. Lots of things swirling around the SEC. Lots of great football right now in the SEC. And Brandon, I wonder how those Alabama fans are going to sleep at night knowing that their defense gave up 30-plus points to Arkansas.
Yeah, it's already been an interesting day around the SEC, as Jeff said. Alabama and Arkansas combined for nearly 100 points. The Tide offense rolling like always. They don't cover the point spread, though. Somebody in the comment section a moment ago mentioned that Florida's now taking a 14-10 lead over LSU. That's Georgia's opponent for next week, and then its opponent 2 weeks after that in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. So already an interesting Saturday, and obviously Georgia's trying to keep pace here. When I think about the game for Georgia today, there are a couple of things beyond just the festivities of really cool dog walk, which we'll get a chance to see in a moment, lining up Sanford Stadium for the first time in a night game this year. There's a lot of really cool stuff that I'm looking forward to seeing around the game, but on the field in particular, there are a couple things that I kind of have in mind here. One of those things is, for a Georgia defense that's been really good at limiting big plays all season long, only giving up 4 plays or 20 or more yards all year, doing that again today against Kyle Shermer, a Vanderbilt quarterback that's probably better than you realize. That's a key storyline today. We focus a lot through the first 5 games on some of what we still want to see from the Georgia offense, but sometimes that discussion comes at the expense of thinking about what we have seen from the Georgia defense. Number 1 in defensive efficiency according to ESPN's Football Power Index. This is a chance today to once again put that on display.
Yeah, when I'm thinking about what needs to be on display, let's call it the quick list, Kroger click list for today, and everybody weigh in. If you guys would be happy with a 30-point spread, a 100-yard rusher, would you be happy with 3 or 4 sacks? Would you be happy with holding Vanderbilt under 2 touchdowns? And would everybody be happy with about 4 or 5 big shots downfield? I think all of those ingredients would make for a happy day for Georgia football.
Jennifer Korn in our in our Facebook comment section says she simply wants Georgia to keep its head down and play hard and play with heart. I think a lot of Georgia fans would agree with Jennifer there on that sentiment there. One of the things that I also want to see, Jeff, in this game from Georgia's defense is Kyle Shermer, much like Drew Lock, the Missouri quarterback who Georgia battled not too long ago. Yet in that game, the focus and attention that Georgia gave to Lock probably cost Georgia a little bit with its rush defense. Missouri ran for nearly 180 yards that day. The Vanderbilt rushing game probably not quite as formidable as Missouri's. Demarie Crockett's a better running back than anybody Vanderbilt has. But seeing how Georgia can handle its rushing defense while also keying on Kyle Sherman, the passing attack, does become a really important thing here, right?
Yeah, I think it's important because everybody wants to know, is Georgia working better on that run game? How is that left guard and right guard spot solidifying? Can Georgia get time on the edge? Can they set the edge, especially that right edge with Isaiah Wilson that sometimes looks a little leaky right now? If they can set the edge, then those shots downfield can happen for Georgia. And I challenge everybody out there to remember this in the theater of your mind. Does everybody remember the Vanderbilt score from last year? Does everybody remember any style points? Does everybody just remember a good feeling and a comfortable victory? I think in the end, a healthy Georgia, no injuries like Ben Cleveland or Andrew Thomas heading into the LSU week, I think that would be the best possible scenario for this week.
It's our Kroger Kickoff. We're live here in a raucous atmosphere in the Tate Center parking lot just outside of Sanford Stadium. Over to my left in a couple of minutes, the dog walk will begin. You'll see that live when it happens. And, of course, make sure you keep Kroger on your mind, whether you're hosting a big tailgate today, whether you're hosting a party at your house watching the game on TV. The food, the beverages that you need to make that party or that tailgate successful, the best place to get that is your Atlanta area Kroger. So check them out. It's great to have them with us for our Kroger Kickoff and you here as well. Let's talk for the Georgia offense here just for a moment. We'll get some more comments while we wait for the dog walk to begin. Obviously, one of the most interesting questions about the Georgia offense is a week after we saw a good bit of Justin Fields, probably more of Fields than I expected to see in the game against Tennessee a week ago. How much do you expect Fields to play today? After all, this is that final game before Georgia goes to LSU on the road next week. How much of Justin Fields do you expect to see today?
I think you'll see a lot, especially if there's a great margin in the second half. I don't think defensive coordinators need to know anymore about 2 touchdown rushing games from Justin Fields. He can do that. I think what they're interested to see is if Justin Fields gets about 10 to 12 passing attempts today, what he does with that passing line. Is he 8 for 12 with 2 scores? What do those go for? What do those look like? I think today, should Georgia do what it's supposed to do against Vanderbilt, offers a great platform for him to sling it around and see what he can do in the passing game. Besides 1 of 2 for 5 yards, that's the passing line he put up against Tennessee.
We got a couple minutes left with Jeff Sintel before we let him go and we get ready to show you the dog walk here live on our Kroger Kickoff. Let's spend that time taking as many comments as we can here today. Matt Rukavina checking in from Houston, Texas. Matt, we appreciate that. Jesse Carl Johnson says somebody call Kelly Bryant and tell him Georgia's looking for a second-string quarterback. Listen, right now I don't think Georgia's worried about that at all. I think if we get some laughs out of our crowd here at Tate Center on that, I think Georgia's feeling pretty good about both of its quarterbacks right now.
I wonder what's in his solo cup right now, Brandon. I don't know if that's approved beverages, family beverages right now.
Montez Cole, by the way, in our Facebook comment section says, I just want to see a focused Georgia team, one looking to prove as good as we're supposed to be. And really, that has been a big story all year long. Now, next week, Georgia, for the next month, is going to start playing against opponents where the game itself validates any concern you might have. Just winning it's proof enough. But in this first half of the season, admittedly, Georgia's been playing almost all these games as a really heavy favorite. So it takes a certain level of focus and an attention to kind of find your own motivation because the opponent, with maybe the exception of South Carolina, the opponent for the most part doesn't provide you that. So obviously what Montez is saying here is once again relevant today. This is a game where Georgia's going to have to reach within itself to find something to go out there and motivate because for the most part, the nation, really even the region around the SEC, not treating Georgia Vanderbilt like a big game, but it is a big opportunity for more of these Georgia guys to kind of show out and go out and show what they're made of.
Yeah, Brandon, this week I was discussing the Dogs right now with someone who knows a great deal about Georgia football, and we kind of compared it to weightlifting. It kind of like Max Day, Brandon. What would you say would be the one day this year where Georgia went into a hostile environment, went into a game thinking we need to bring A-game football, otherwise we'll get surprised?
I think it was clearly South Carolina, and in particular, I think it was the third quarter against South Carolina.
Yeah, that's what we stumbled on right there. We put our fingers on that was Max Day for Georgia so far. And then the other games so far have been a lot of times kind of like the NFL Combine. Georgia's got 225 pounds on the bench, and it's basically how many times can you, how many lifts, how many max reps can you get? Is it 25? Is it 28? Is it 30? Well, there's not a lot of joy in those type of efforts. And I think Georgia is really relishing the chance to come out and let loose against a big-name opponent, and there's one more week until that happens.
All right, Kylan Susan Richter in our comment section says, go Dogs from Moultrie, Georgia, the home of the great former Georgia quarterback Ray Goff. Kylan Susan say, B.A. and Jeff, it's going to be a blowout. So you're hearing some confidence there. Vanderbilt has only covered this point spread one time in its last 9 SEC games. So obviously in keeping with that theme, it very well could be another blowout for Georgia here today.
You know, it's funny, Brandon. I always like when we're in these crowds of people, I need to do a jersey number check. And I'm just looking right now, surveying the field. I see 3s. I see 27s. I see Harry Dog.
I see Harry Dog looking good in his number 1 right now. Always good to see Harry Dog. A big hit with all the students and young children out here today.
Yeah, you see 7s. You see 34s. You see 27s. If I had to guess, it looks to me like the most popular jersey at Georgia would either be the 11 are the three right now, with one a close second. Close
All right,
third.
a couple more minutes left with Jeff Sintel here as part of our Kroger Kickoff, and then we'll probably be overtaken with youngsters as the dog walk gets ready to go here. Hampson Howell on our Facebook comment section says, I hope that Kirby allows the offense to open it up. I hope it's not just another boring offensive type of day. There are a lot of fans that do want to see that feel like the offense has been boring. Maybe one of those fans is five-star wide receiver Jaden Hazelwood, in fact. Do you expect to see the offense open up a little bit here today?
I think they'll take some shots. I think they can do that against Vanderbilt. I think the game plan will allow for it. But critically, Brandon, what I want to see is that when that ball sails deep, can the receiver go make a play on the ball? Can they go out and get it if 11 puts it in the zone or 1 puts it in the catch radius for a lot of those guys as well?
All right, before we let you go, and of course we'll see Jeff along with former Georgia punter Cameron Nisley for Northside Hospital Sports Medicine post-game show immediately after the game right over there at the UGA bookstore. But before I let you go, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, another Georgia decommit last night. This one from a bit of a fan favorite because of his high school career in the Atlanta area. That's J.D. Bertrand from Blessed Trinity. Bertrand deciding his best football is going to be played somewhere else. What do you make of that situation?
Well, I guess it is everybody says it's fluid, but the way I look at it is this. There are no on-that-record interviews with these recruits because it's a subject that a lot of them don't want to talk about. I think that's for a specific reason. All I can say is look in the history books to last year. Georgia lost 8 commitments. They lost 8 commitments, and they ended up replacing all of those with higher-rated players on the way to the nation's #1 signing class for 2018.
All right, go ahead and finish.
That's just the Georgia way right now.
We'll let you go get set up for your duties here. We'll also transition in our Kroger Kickoff. We'll get ready to show you the dog walk here as it's going to be just a couple of minutes away. While we're waiting for the dog walk here, we'll still have plenty more time for your Facebook comments. So go ahead and get position. The view that you'll see on your screen there is the area around what's going on in the Tate Center parking lot here as the dog walk gets ready to go here. In just a couple of minutes, we'll get our camera in position. You'll be able to see it. Fans obviously incredibly excited and looking forward to everything that's going to be going down here as Georgia gets ready to take on Vanderbilt at 7:30 Eastern Time. And I think a lot of Georgia fans are also hoping for a little bit of a break from the heat. Those that have been tailgating all day long have no doubt seen an incredibly hot day all day today, unseasonably and almost unseemly hot when it comes to this time of year. But obviously, college football stops for nothing, including extreme, intense temperatures with the weather. So we are looking forward to all of that here, and plenty more from the dog walk here, including with your comments here coming up. In fact, let me take some of those right now while we continue to roll through and get ready for the dog walk to begin in just a couple of minutes. Taj Sloan says Trevor Lawrence, the Clemson quarterback, just threw another touchdown against Wake Forest. That kid's the truth. Yeah, there is no doubt that right now we have an amazing crop of young quarterbacks around the South here. It's not just in the SEC, and it's not just at Georgia, where both Jake Fromm and Justin Fields are together. It's at Alabama with Tua Tagovailoa, where even the most ardent Georgia supporter has to admit Tagovailoa has had a great year, and the freshman at Clemson, Trevor Lawrence, has had an outstanding year too. James Fulgham echoing some of the comments we've already heard today, saying open it up and air it out. I think what you're hearing there from a lot of the Georgia fans in our comment section is a little bit of a restlessness. On the heels of seeing so much offense from so many other places, Clemson, Alabama included. They want to see some of that from their own program there as well. They are looking forward to being able to see just that. You see the Georgia cheerleaders there and getting ready for the dog walk to go in just a couple of minutes. Shane Guy says LSU Florida's 14-10 at the half. Thanks for the score update on that. Matt Rukavina comes in with a prediction that Jake Fromm throws for 300 yards and Justin Fields throws for at least a touchdown as well. I know that would make a lot of Georgia fans very happy to see both those guys getting involved. Caleb Tyson checking in from Lubbock, Texas. Good stuff there from Lubbock, Texas, checking in here today. Justin Schramm checking in from Nashville, saying he's going to be repping the dogs. Let's make that anchor break. So Justin in enemy territory from the home of the campus there in Nashville of Vanderbilt, cheering on the dogs there from the other side there. Nice to have him checking in. Carla Whitehead Yeomans doing a little swap shop ticket exchange. Carla saying anyone out there needs some good tickets. We weren't able to make the game today and got 2 season tickets. Carla, thanks for posting that in there. Hopefully somebody will take you up on that offer. Avery Swarn also on the issue of the offense, saying open up the offense. this conservative offense is boring, and it's almost admitted that you're not trying. So a lot of Georgia fans want to see more from the Georgia offense. Maybe today is the chance they get to do that. The one point I guess I'll continue to make in regards to that, though, is that one of the things that I think at times may get mistaken for boredom or staleness or complacency when it comes to the Georgia offense is that inability to turn first downs into second mediums and third and shorts. One of the things I talked about on Dog Nation Daily this week, and by the way, hope you're checking out Dog Nation Daily each Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. live on the Dog Nation video channels, on the radio at noon, on Avid Sports Radio 960 The Ref, and in podcast form pretty much everywhere. One of the things we talked about on the show this week was that if you go back and look at the Tennessee game, one of the things that Georgia did not do particularly well were those successful rushing plays on first down. Only gaining 5 yards or more on 31% of the first down runs a week ago against the Vols. And that's not what the Georgia offense is designed to be. It's designed to run it on first down, to make second down easier, and then third down either non-existent or third and short. That's what Georgia did a lot in 2017. So for a lot of people, it looks like a more fun Georgia offense to watch in 2017. Part of that is just by design, dominating more at the line of scrimmage, something that I think even Georgia itself would admit it hasn't done quite as much here this year. Huntsville, Alabama, John Williamson checking in. John, thanks for checking in from the Space City. Kelly Joy says, any commits coming up this week? Kelly, one of the things that Dog Nation's hoping for is four-star safety Lewis Seen, who will make his decision and announcement on Thursday. Of course, we'll have live Dog Nation video coverage for you on that the day it happens. Actually, I said Thursday. I believe it's Wednesday. Yeah, excuse me. That's Wednesday. We'll have live Dog Nation video coverage for you on that on Wednesday. But obviously, Georgia fans got their fingers crossed about Seen. Plays out at Trinity High School in Texas, but a great-looking prospect. One of those guys has been compared favorably to Richard LeCounte as a future really big-time ball hawk and safety. So, Kelly, a lot of folks hoping for a Seen there in that regard. Lee Weaver says, I can't wait to hear what they say on ESPN tomorrow about Alabama struggling in the first half against Arkansas. And that's another point I think we've tried to make here a lot around Dog Nation, is that I know it all seems really easy to predict right now. Alabama's blowing everyone out. Alabama's scoring at will, and it's a foregone conclusion in some circles that Alabama's going to go on and win the college football playoff national championship. But anybody who's ever put any kind of money down on a game whatsoever knows that college football has a history and a tendency not to be very easy to predict. I think the Alabama situation this year is another example of that. You'd be a fool to deny that Alabama's the favorite right now. They clearly are. But we've seen plenty of other mid-season favorites go on not to win the national championship, both in the playoff era and the BCS era preceding that. We've also seen plenty of mid-season Heisman favorites falter somewhere before it's all said and done. Now, obviously, right now it doesn't seem like anything's going to slow down Tua Tagovailoa, but he wouldn't be the first person to befall the same kind of scenario here. So there's still a lot of football left to be played. Based on the snapshot of our comment section thus far, there's some Georgia fans who think Georgia hasn't played its best football yet. The good news is it's got a little bit more than half a season left, at least in the regular season, to get that done. And its most crucial games don't begin until next week and then throughout the month of November. So fascinating comments here. I will tell you that we've gone now past 5:15. It's 19 minutes after 5 as we broadcast live here on our Kroger Kickoff from the Tate Center parking lot, just steps outside Sanford Stadium, where coming up in just a moment the dog walk's going to take place. I think there's reason to believe that the dog walk here could be happening any time now. So listen out for those sirens. That's always the big clue here. That's always the big clue here that we're on our way. Looks like I may have lost our comment hookup here, so I may be my Wi-Fi failed me there for a moment. Okay, here we are. We're back on. So we'll obviously keep our ear out for those sirens and our eye out for those buses to start pull up and for the dog walk to get going. And then it's kickoff between Georgia and Vanderbilt after that, 7:30 p.m. inside Sanford Stadium under the lights. Our first time this year to see the light up Sanford in the fourth quarter when the Red Coat Band plays the Krypton theme. And it'll be the first time this year it's dark enough to enjoy that, and hopefully cool enough that fans want to stay in their seats. I know that's been a hot topic around the SEC, no pun intended, for the last week. Nick Saban chastising his student body for not being in the building last week. Obviously, Georgia fans expect to support their team in huge numbers here today, and it should be a great atmosphere. Already spoken to a fan who said he was attending his first ever football game today. He'd been a Georgia fan his entire life, but had never gotten a chance to come out and be at a game. This is his first time doing that. So for those of you who are also here for the first time, no matter what age you are, hopefully you're getting ready to enjoy all of this here today. Drew Roman also asking to see more of Demetrius Robertson here. That's something clearly a lot of Dog fans would like to see. David Riddle says, I'm ready to see the Dogs play a complete brand of football. Crowd making some noise here now. That's not for the team. Dog Walk's still not ready to go yet. These are T-shirts. And much like last week where the Georgia basketball teams, both the Lady Dogs and the men's team, came out to pass some stuff out in honor of the Stegmania that took place last night. Here are the world-famous gym dogs here, the Georgia gymnastics team, also touting their upcoming season by tossing out a few T-shirts here as well. So kind of a cool thing to see this group getting a chance to do that, as it's starting to get real crowded here for our Dog Walk broadcast here. We'll try to make sure we keep our position and give you a chance to see everything that's going to go on here. You see the American flag in place. That means we're getting closer to the time for the Dog Walk to begin. You'll see Kirby Smart walking by and shaking hands in just a moment. Georgia cheerleaders in place. The buzz around here would indicate that we are getting very close to the Dog Walk beginning, even if we haven't seen the buses show up yet. Don't forget, immediately after the game, we'll have our Northside Hospital post-game show in the UGA bookstore. Of course, in the bookstore before the game, a whole host of autographs being signed there today. The father and son duo of the College Football Hall of Famer Kevin Butler and his son, the former Georgia punter and former Arizona Cardinal Drew Butler, signing autographs here today. Former Georgia running back also on hand, as well as former Georgia coach Vince Dooley. He's going to be here as well. The buses are here. The Dog Walk's getting ready to go. The cheers are beginning. You're going to see these coaches and players in just a moment as they come right here. A lot of noise being made. A lot of excitement about that glimpse, that chance to shake hands and say hello to the Georgia Bulldogs as they come by. The unmistakable UGA chant taking place. Everybody's ready to go. What a festive moment it is for number 2 Georgia at 5-0, getting ready to come in and get things going for the Dog Walk before homecoming here. And let's not forget that for many longtime Georgia graduates who maybe live a long way away, this is their chance to come back and be a part of all of that and get a chance to be a part of the action here. Georgia players are making their way out of the buses. Kirby Smart has been spotted. He's out in front, but they have not started walking their way yet. But we'll see them when they come. In fact, the cheerleaders and the flags are here. We're coming through and getting ready to go. And here they come through here. Georgia cheerleaders making their way in. Harry Dogg's making his way by. And the Dog Walk is officially underway. Leading the way through there, Kirby Smart, the first one through, giving high fives all the way around. Cade Mays and Justin Fields are here. Justin Fields, the first player walking by. Julian Rochester here as well. Justin Fields giving the high fives. There's Cade Mays doing the same thing. Here's Isaac Nada. There's Jake Fromm giving out the high fives. Charlie Warner, Jim Chaney, Sam Pittman coming by. Kirby Smart giving the high fives, and he's all smiles. Taking a break. There's Trey Blunt. Smart taking a break from his game face to show a little love to the kids on hand. A lot of Georgia players dapped out in their Sunday best here on a Saturday afternoon.
Rod, let's do it, buddy!
Rodrigo Blankenship coming in. John Fitzpatrick coming by there. Notori Johnson. There's J.J. Holloman, Demetrius Robertson. Georgia continuing to file in here. Dogs continue to roll on here, getting a lot of cheers. D'Angelo Gibbs stopping to shake hands and say hello. Thanks for being with us as part of our Kroger Kickoff as you watch the dog walk as it unfolds before Georgia takes on Vanderbilt. Looks like we may have seen 2 waves of Georgia players come through. Looked like that may have been one wave. Yeah, that was the team as they came rolling through here. So great stuff from Georgia as it comes through for the dog walk here. Huge showing from the Georgia coaches, the Georgia players, as they got a chance to be a part of this, and an unbelievable atmosphere. Thanks so much for being a part of our Kroger Kickoff as we're able to bring it all to you. Don't forget, when you're tailgating on Saturdays or hosting that party there at your house, go to your local Kroger and get everything you need, the beverages, the food, everything else for your parties, for your tailgates. It's all there for you right there at Kroger. We'll see you after the game for our Northside Hospital post-game show. We'll be in the UGA bookstore, which is just across the road from where I'm standing right now. I'll be there with former Georgia punter Cameron Nizick and our buddy Jeff Sintel. Inside the game right now, Chip Towers and Mike Griffith already in place. They'll be bringing you coverage at DogNation.com. I'll see you in the forum at forum.dognation.com as we bring you unprecedented and unmatched coverage of homecoming, Georgia Vanderbilt, 7:30 p.m. Enjoy the game. We'll see you next time right here before the game for our Kroger Kickoff.